you so much. And thank you, Anon. Thank you, Anisha, for such a beautiful introduction. Anon, I think I am associated with Anon from last 5 years since the beginning. And it has been always a privilege to take a workshop for Anon kids, Anon interns, and a lot of those who really want to know something new. So this time we have come up with another piece of new information, and I'm sure you would going to like it. So that's my promise. Okay, I'm audible. Perfect. So I think let's start with this journey, beautiful journey of emotionally getting connected together. And let's talk about emotional intelligence. People know about it. We've been talking about it nowadays. But you being kids there, parents there, you're there, your teachers are there, I'm sure. A lot of us take it in a very different aspect. So why not to get on a board together to see, are we really, really in a position to say that we are emotionally strong, we are emotionally intelligent or high EQ? Do we have that? So it's a very sensitive and a beautiful topic and close to my heart. So I thought of taking this up because emotion is something we associate everywhere. You are doing any job, uh, emotions are always attached. Whether you are studying, you are giving your exams, why you feel low or high when your results is something up and down. They are emotions because you really want to do something good, and if something doesn't turn up to be the way you expected, you get sad. So they are all emotions, but how do we deal with it is something we need to learn over a period of time. And this is where we are trying to equip ourselves. So let's see what is it inside the presentation. Let's go for the second slide. So overall, I'm just giving a very brief, what is emotional intelligence? So you may be having some idea, maybe some of you can put it in the chat. What do you think, according to you, is emotional intelligence is all about? So usually how you handle, it's your ability, it's handling the, and you knowing it, that how you're behaving in a particular situation. So let's say something comes up in front of you and you said, okay, this is the situation, I understand this, and I know how to manage it. And accordingly, how my emotions are required to be. Do I need to be aggressive? Do I need to be little mild? Or do I need to be understanding? Do I need to really look into the issue in much detail and then say anything before I open my mouth? Should I really assess the situation? These are some of the aspects emotionally the strong, intelligent EQ person would always work towards. But majorly, how we behave, we immediately react. So here is the learning we have to have, and this is where emotional intelligence plays very important role. It is not only about you only, how you are behaving. So emotional intelligence actually covers you, how you behave with others, and how do you behave in a group. Are you being clear about what you're saying communication wise? Are you being empathetic to somebody else is speaking? होता है ना ग्रुप में, we start talking and we want to just say what we have, what we know. दूसरे को सुनना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. And this is where we lack, and हमें पता भी नहीं चलता कब सामने वाला आपको neglect कर चुका है, or he is not just saying okay, whatever she's saying, let it be, let's not say anything. But you are not into that state or that position or that image you really wanted to build. So we lack. And since you guys are getting into a next levels, from your schools to colleges to further going further in your life, these are the most important. I feel you need to know how you behave within you, outside, with people, conflicts, how do you resolve them, how do you work on them. So I have, people talk about IQ a lot. Since childhood we used to take IQ, but we have now started talking about EQ, intelligence, the emotionally, are you intelligent? We know that you, high IQ person would get high grades, बहुत सारा knowledge. Okay, this person has got very high IQ, उसको सब कुछ आता है. इसका low IQ है because इसे time लगता है सीखने में. We compare ourselves. But now, if I ask you, according to you, you being in school or colleges, what is more important? So let's have this polling question to you, and we give you the chance to answer your answer. And there is nothing wrong or a right. What you feel, don't be, in a way showing up that no, we know what is right and trying to give an answer because I have given the definition, but give a answer from your heart. So let's have a polling question. The very first question for you. What do you think? IQ is more important or EQ? Let's have some answers in place.
Request all the attendees to please participate in the poll. It has been launched and it is there in front of your screens.
Okay, I think yes or no, instead yes or no, you could have placed EQ and IQ, but yes can be placed for EQ. I'm sorry for this error. Yes can be placed for EQ. No can be placed for IQ. So we can have the answers, no problem. So
I can have an edit. I can do it.
Yeah, let's
please,
do that.
please.
Sure.
Do that. That'll be helpful. So what is
Team,
important?
we're gonna share
the results. The
poll
EQ
once
is important
again.
or
Please
the
feel
IQ?
free to provide the.
Don't put too much of mind. Whatever comes to your mind at the first place. Why? Because we have been living with some thought process already. We already have been working towards our school grades. How do I really improve myself? What is it comes to your mind immediately? Is it something I need to work on my IQ much, or should I work on my EQ much? So people, keep talking about अपना बिहेवियर अच्छा करो, ये करो, या आपको लगता है कि पढ़ाई के लिए अच्छे बढ़ो? क्या है? सॉरी, यस. So maybe we can have a poll closure team and see how people want to react. Do they choose both equally or any one which is on a higher side? Okay, so I can see people writing both should be balanced. Okay, any other person feels other way around? Okay, so IQ makes you great in academics and EQ something that you will make great in your life. I think very beautifully written by Komal. However, balance is necessary. I totally go with you on that. Yes. Anyone having any one particular area is also okay. There is nothing called right or a wrong thing. Emotional and intelligence. EIQ. Okay, this is something interesting. Okay. So I think more or less you know it. More or less you are aware. To win a job, Tanmay says job IQ, and to win a heart says EQ. Beautiful. I mean, you guys already are aware of this particular factor. However, the research data, talks about it nowadays. EQ comes. Things are changing at a very fast pace. Technically, everything is changing daily. So many things have come up. You guys know it. When I was child, we didn't even have mobiles. Now, what is it you're not available to you at your hand, right? IQ is something you can develop daily basis. You're coming up with something new. Okay, open the video, check out for 2 hours. You know that subject. EQ takes time to develop, takes internalization to work on, takes a lot of courage to put forward and do it. People, if thinks that, I can learn these later, I think this is where we do a lot of mistake. Kid learns so many things 0 to 7 age, between 0 to 7. We are already at a stage 80% is already learned. 20% is something we keep improvising. So you guys are already at an age, you'll have to start improvising. And this is where such kind of topics or such kind of discussions will help you in a long way. Why? IQ, you will keep enhancing. EQ, learn from today itself and make an impact on yourself. The moment you have EQ, you know how to collaborate, you know how to do other things. Let's move forward to the next slide and understand what am I trying to say. I'm trying to say having an EQ in place, which is more and more important, a lot of benefits you get through. And what could be? You upgrade yourself. If I'm saying upgrade yourself, you upgrade yourself academically too. So having a high EQ will let you have high IQ anyhow, right? Because the moment you internalize and say, okay, uh, I know I can watch myself. I know I'm getting stressed out while I'm unnecessarily taking too much of stress. You start watching yourself. I'll tell you how it'll be done. But what benefits will come through? It's this is what it is. So you'll upgrade yourself not only emotionally but even intelligence wise too. There is a possibility you'll start learning in a right way. Then you conquer the fear and the doubt you have. This is where I say academically you will improve. Why? The moment you stop those fears and doubts, any kind of insecurities getting built up, you try to focus on your studies in a composed manner. You remove all the negative feelings, the negative aspects, anything which bothers you, and you start focusing more. And what will happen? Automatically, you improving other aspects. Manage stress, improve mental health. Similar kind of, but however, a next level of fear is becoming a stress because it really shows up in your body. Your panic attacks and all those things. Nowadays, it's like a buzzword. Mental health. At our time, we never used to talk about this, but yes, we have also had that shivering hands around and having a trembling. Used to cry in the morning when the exams was there. We also have gone through all that, but now there are so many fancy words to it. And communication and social skills is something very, very prominently get enhanced when you know how to handle your emotions to conduct yourself well. And other could be responses, you start giving it instead of reaction. So if someone comes to you and he immediately says something to you, you just can't take it and you immediately start talking. What happens when you start talking? You're not listening to that person, you're just making your statements ready within you what you need to speak, right? So it is more of a reaction, not a response. That improves. Then you have healthy environment. If you know how to behave, things work, and it automatically changes your place of working. So there are so many things you can do with having EQ, high and strong EQ in place. You start feeling it. Okay, I should have it, and what is it we should do about it? But we will go there in a while. Let's go to the next slide and see more in terms of having a high EQ. If you have it now, if you say it by activities or by understanding what I'm trying to tell you, and I'm going to come out with beautiful introspecting questions or some beautiful activities, and I would need your full attention. Once you have high EQ, what will happen? You'll know how to deal with any change or uncertainties, which is a norm now. Every day, anything new coming up is becoming a norm. You go to school, next class is very different way the studies are going on. You go to college, totally different aspect. You from college to corporate, totally different aspect. Every time you're going through a change, uncertainties are there in place. How do you deal with it? You need to learn it through EQ. Sense of accountability, you feel, okay, this belongs to me and I need to take care of it. Okay, this is my behavior pattern. I need to take care of it. And this is where you become better and a better version of your own self. Leadership skill, we in the first episode, even I was there. I was, peeping inside what exactly is going to come up in the first episode. And it's such a beautiful session. You guys, whoever have attended leadership skills, well, there's so many tips were given by Jasar. However, the base, being a leader, is your emotional intelligence. How you deal, how you handle your team, how do you really take care of them, how do you really make sure they are result oriented, it will come out from EQ. So this is the base where you will build your building. Overall problem solving skills, again, you know how to deal with it, so you know how to take out overall satisfaction. You happy because everyone is happy around you because you know how to deal with the things. As I said, conflict management already, and stronger relationships if you know how to do it. There are so beautiful benefits we talked about, so many of them. But how do we get it? There are very clear aspects to it. How do we get? So when we get into the next slide now, I pose a question to you again. Let's have a polling. Let's go to the next slide. And before I give you the tips to learn the emotional intelligence, here is a polling question, number 2 for you. Let's have it. If, I'll read out for you, if there have been a stressful situation for you that your teacher asks you to stand up and talk about a particular topic which you didn't study and you don't know anything about that chapter, what happens to you? Do you feel sweaty suddenly? Hot flashes? Is your legs start to shiver? Or you start thinking about your response? What do I answer now? Or is it you bend your head down and feel embarrassed? What to do now? Just silence. What do you do usually? Again, no right or wrong answers. Don't worry. You'll not be judged on this. It's just how do you react at this point in time when you don't know how to handle the emotions? And this is where you would understand what is it I need to work on. And this is why these kind of polling questions are being coming. You need to know what is it I get into. If there is an adverse situation, how do I behave? So let's see. I am also giving my answers meanwhile. So let's hear it from you guys. We are okay if we can give the polling results. If even if we not, then also it's okay. But we really want to know from you guys. You really think, how do you behave? What happens when your teacher tells you, stand up and tell me, did you read about this particular topic? I need want you to explain it to the class. What happens to you? Answer it. Make it fun. Let it be an interesting discussion so that you learn something. We are not here only to be here. Let's be here completely. So Siddharth is liking my statements. Huh? They are all extempores, huh, Siddharth? Okay, let's come back to the presentation meanwhile, and we keep moving. Are the polling results coming? Possibly I'm
Yes,
not.
some amazing results are coming up. So the maximum number of votes goes for the third one. That is start thinking about your responses. So the
Now they are
percentage per
consciously.
vote is
Huh?
83%.
So I know you because you are in terms of Anon, you are already trained. However, give a genuine answers. They look to be really thought through. So no problem, but still, I love your answers. And I can see Komal writing, firstly thinking of the answer, but agar tab bhi na aaye, so nothing, I'll feel embarrassed. Okay, no problem. So yeah, this is the situation I also get into. So I would not say that I am now grown up and I have been into all those situations come up or something like that. Even today, if something comes in front of me which I am not aware of, and I've been asked, or there is any adverse, beautiful results, or there is any adverse situation in front of me, how do I need to behave? I don't know. Sometimes I feel suddenly a lot of sweat. Uh, Frankly speaking, there is another fifth option which happens with me. My bowel system start moving very fast, and I feel like going for the washroom very, very quickly because I am in a bad situation at that point in time when I don't know what to answer. So it is perfectly okay because this happens. It's a very natural aspect. How you start working on it one by one and reach to a situation where you can handle all such situations very, very comfortably, calmly is the aspect, is the working we are doing it now. Taking the first step. And from here, we will keep moving. So to the next slide, it actually talks about the 5 aspects which you really need to focus when you're working on your emotional intelligence. They are the enhancers. The very first one is self-awareness. I'll be taking them in detail, so I am just covering it up here in this particular slide. And then comes self-regulation, because once you are aware, You know what is happening with you, you know how to regulate. Then comes motivation, because you'll have to keep yourself motivated. And then other two, social skills and empathy, is what you show for others. This will be very, very clear in the next slide to you. And let's move to the next slide and see. Wow. So there are two bifurcations. If you see those five components have been bifurcated into two components further. They are the types of emotional intelligence. One falls under intrapersonal and other falls under interpersonal. Now, if I say intrapersonal, it's within you. You need to work upon. It is you who has to see what you're behaving like. So the self-awareness is yours. Self-regulation is yours. And again, motivation is yours. You have to motivate yourself for anything. Interpersonal, in terms, is how you behave in a group, or how you behave in a team, or a project team of yours, or anything of that sort. You working in an environment. How do you work with others? Are you being empathetic? It's empathy is one skill you need to work on, and another is social skill, your communication and other aspects. We saw the benefits, and there, all those benefits are going to come out from these five very clear aspects of life. If you work on these five pieces, all of those benefits shown in earlier slides will be taken care of. And you can come up triumph. You can be the one what you want to be. Anything can be achieved, definitely. So, moving to the next, let's get into and deep dive. How do you develop these five basic and very important pieces of life? So, they are the emotional intelligence, the the components which are really need to be worked upon. How do you develop them? I am going to take you through this journey in a much beautiful manner. Be with me. I think let's have the cameras in place. It's very important. If you don't mind, have your cameras in place, and we'll have a very beautiful activities coming up. Let's go to the next slide and see what am I talking about in self-awareness. See, you must have heard this statement: knowing is 50% battle won. Just by knowing, just by knowing, you know this particular job has to be done. And by plotting it on your paper and pen, that's okay, I have to do particular job. Your focus has started going in. Already your thought process started flowing in that particular work. You put up a work or agenda in your paper. What happens? Your thought starts flowing in. Okay, I'll have to do this, but I know how to do it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Immediately start falling in place. That means if you're just even being aware, 50%, you're ready. It is now more of an action. So the very first step is the most important step here, being aware. How? Okay. Before I'm giving you any tip, I'm asking you to do an activity with me. Put your cameras on and take a couple of deep breaths. Okay. Relax. If you're working somewhere along with this particular workshop, just give a minute and be there with me. You will enjoy it. Okay. Now I'm asking you to take a couple of breaths. And when I ask you, you can close your eyes, or even if you don't want to close your eye, there is one question I'm going to pose to you. See, why, even if I'm talking to you, there could be 100 of things running in your mind. We call it overthinking, right? You guys must be doing overthinking. Okay, अभी मैम का ये क्लास चल रहा है, इसके बाद मुझे ये करना है, वो करना है, मुझे ये करना है, कल के लिए मुझे ये करना है, वो करना है. हो रहा होगा, correct? Give some thumbs up, yes, or something. Good. होता है ना? Overthinking, too much of things, because there are too many things happening in your mind. We all know 50-60,000 thoughts आता है दिन के mind में, always. And most of it, 80-85% is waste. Now, being aware, I'm saying being aware. So you've taken deep breaths. You can close your eyes or open your eyes. I pose a question to you. Now you give a awareness to your thought and put a question to yourself. I wonder what my next thought will be. Just close your eyes and say, okay, let me see what my next thought is. Give it a thought. Are you getting any thought? I'm not getting any. Are you getting any thought? No. Why? because you just placed your eyes on that hole, thinking a mouse will come out of that hole. A mouse will never come out. You're getting my point? Too much of overthinking? Okay, don't get indulged. Step out. Okay, what am I thinking? What am I doing? Just keep a watch and keep a watch and keep saying your thoughts. Go, don't need you. Go, don't need you. Even if that is not happening, do this exercise. Ask a question to yourself. Somebody can put it in the chat. I wonder what my next thought will be. Just a question to yourself. 2 deep breaths. Take a close your eyes and say, let me see what my next thought is. Nothing will come. This is called the mind gap. Create a gap, a thoughtlessness. The moment you have thoughtlessness, the moment you have the chatter getting away, now you know how to use your mind, little composed manner, right? You would know how to think rightly for any adverse situation standing in front of you. The moment you have adverse situation, what happens? Flight and fight mode. Thak, 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 thak. What do I do? भाग जाऊं, खड़ा हूं, मारूं, लड़ाई करूं, क्या करूं? Okay. What is it all that jargons coming up in my mind? Hold on. Let me see. What am I thinking? Okay. Hold on. I don't think I'm thinking in the right direction. Not needed. So this is where awareness, just a awareness of your mind, of your thought. Hold and see what is it you are doing. Help you. How can you do it? I've given a couple of tips. Let's come back there and see the presentation. Very beautiful activities. The one I showed you is mindfulness. Mindfulness is holding yourself and watching yourself. Holding yourself and watching your thought. Holding yourself, watching your behavior. Holding yourself, checking your trigger and analyzing it. The moment this person comes in, मेरा face frowning हो जाता है. The moment that person comes in, मेरा मुंह पे smile आ जाता है. What am I doing? I'm just trying to see the triggers inside me. And I need to work on them because I can't be showing up to the person, okay, why have you come? So, these are the skills we'll have to learn. And self-reflecting journal is something I really tell every person to keep writing. Is something very important. क्या कर सकते हो आप? अभी भी आप try कर सकते हो. If time allows us, we can do that for 2 minutes. If you have paper pen in front of you, for 2 minutes, I'm giving you a topic. How are you feeling now? How are you feeling now? It just come up this particular question to me, and you can write for 1 minute. I think let's have a timer of 1 minute only. बिना दिमाग डाले, लॉजिकल माइंड साइड रखोगे, वॉट एवर कम्स, फर्स्ट थॉट फॉर अ मिनट, जस्ट कीप राइटिंग, डोंट पुल योर पेन अप योर पेपर. तो आप जब पेपर पे एक बार आपने हाथ रख दिया और आपका पेन शुरू हो गया, you will not pick your pen till the time 1 minute is done, and you can do that now. How are you feeling now? Just 1 minute, maybe 4 or 5 lines, whatever comes up. Just check out everything, whatever comes. Put. Don't put your brain. No need to apply your brain there. Why have I asked you to do this? 1 minute is done, Siddharth. I am just speaking non-stop.
Last 10 seconds, ma'am. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
कोई बात नहीं, even
4,
1 line, 2 line would do.
3. Yeah, works.
Good. So what happened? You have checked out how your emotions are. Most of the time you would know when you read the paper, sometimes you don't even realize it what's happening inside me. But before you sleep or you get up or in any time in between mid of the day, just sit down. Okay, I don't know what is happening. The emotions are not correct or understanding to me. Just take a paper. Don't put logic and keep writing. Cut. Just pick up one particular topic and keep writing. When you see your paper, there'll be too much of repetitions of some words, too much of very beautiful words you keep repeating. जैसे मुझे बार बार बोलने की आदत है किसी वर्ड को. You know, you know, you know. तो आप लिखने में भी you know करोगे. right? That gets will let you know कि मेरा बिहेवियर पैटर्न्स कैसे हैं, मेरे इमोशंस में क्या ज्यादा आता है, क्या मैं ज्यादा कहाँ पे फंसती हूँ, क्यों मेरे थॉट्स फ्लो रुक जाता है, वट एवर कम्स एज अ रिजल्ट, you know then what to work upon. Being aware is important, and journaling helps you in a big way. Got it? Let's move to the next. You're aware now. You know what is needs to be done with your emotions. So how do we deal with, what do we do to regulate this? A beautiful activity again, but let's talk about the first regulation. Let's go to the next slide. I hope I'm not taking too much of time. I'll try to be faster. So regulation is what? You know it, you're aware. It's again on self. So you're doing a self-management. You know what the problem is. You have come to know from journaling. You have come to know from analyzing your thoughts. Now let's manage. Manage कैसे करेंगे? Mind the gap. We did that. Mind the gap. रुको, देखो और फिर करो. Okay. ट्रिगर्स क्या हैं वो चेक करो. बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या है? मेजरली आप कैसे आप अपने आप को कैरी करते हो? आप क्या स्टूप होके बैठे रहते हो, या एक्टिव होते हो, या पूरे दिन के अंदर 80% ऑफ द टाइम आपका किस तरह से बॉडी लैंग्वेज चल रहा है? लेजी चल रहा है, प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन टाइप्स चल रहा है, या बहुत अच्छा एक्टिव चल रहा है, या सुपर डुपर चल रहा है? समटाइम्स हम देखते ही नहीं है, वी डोंट इवन चेक. इफ नाउ वी चेक एंड वी नो व्हाट टू रेगुलेट एंड व्हाई टू रेगुलेट, तो क्या बेनिफिट्स निकल सकते हैं उस रेगुलेशन से? वी नो हाउ टू वर्क एंड वेयर टू वर्क. सो रेगुलेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अब एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्टर बताती हूँ इस रेगुलेशन में आपका. आप कहते हो मेरे इमोशंस मेरे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, मैं करूं क्या? अब आ रहे हैं तो आ रहे हैं, अब आप उसको क्या रोकोगे? अब कैसे अपने आप को ठीक करोगे? राइट? एक छोटी सी एक्टिविटी. लेट्स पुट ऑन अ कैमरा. ब्रीथ लो. और नाउ आई आस्क यू टू क्लोज योर आईज, and I really want to see a couple of you really doing it well. Please try it with me. Close your eyes and think of a happy moment in your life. कोई happy event जो कभी हुआ हो आपके साथ लाइफ में. Do that. Close your eyes. Now, उस हैप्पी इवेंट को जब आप देख रहे हो and you're feeling good about it, राइट हैंड उठाओ, अपनी इंडेक्स फिंगर, आपको कहीं पे भी, अपनी आईज बंद है लेकिन सामने आपको कोई पोजीशन पता होगी वो कहाँ है, हैप्पी इवेंट रन हो रहा है आपके लिए, वो राइट इन हैंड की इंडेक्स फिंगर उस हैप्पी इवेंट के ऊपर रखो. अपने ऊपर नहीं, सामने स्क्रीन पे. लेट्स से in front of you, you can feel where the happy event is. Anywhere in the air, anywhere you feel okay, ये मेरा सामने screen. If I'm saying screen, your mental screen, I'm sorry if I confused it with this screen. Your mental screen, you are imagining your happy event and put your right hand का index finger at that happy event. Now वहीं पे रखना उस हाथ को. Think of a sad event, और जो थोड़ा गड़बड़ था, अच्छा नहीं लगा, लेफ्ट हैंड की इंडेक्स फिंगर उठाओ और सैड इवेंट के ऊपर रखो कहीं पर, wherever you feel your mentally that particular event is. Okay, both your fingers are in air, इंडेक्स फिंगर्स आपकी उठी हुई हैं. अब इन दोनों को मर्ज करने की कोशिश करो, धीरे 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 मर्ज करने की कोशिश करो. Are you feeling the resistance? Are you feeling the resistance? अगर किसी ने ओवरलैप कर भी लिया है तो अब जैसे ही हाथ उठाओगे वो इवेंट्स कहाँ गए? कि अपनी जगह पर वापस पहुंच गए? लेट मी नो. ओवरलैप आपने अगर कर भी लिया बाय समहाउ, वैसे तो रेजिस्टेंस फील होगा. आपने अगर ओवरलैप कर भी लिया तो आपने जब उंगलियां हटाई तो इवेंट्स कहाँ गए? एनीवन वांट्स टू से एनीथिंग? वापस आ गए अपनी जगह? I'll tell you what happens. Two different patterns cannot stay together. Sad moment and happy moment are two opposite patterns. They would never be able to stay together. आप उसे मर्ज करने की कोशिश करोगे तो वो रेजिस्ट करेंगे. अगर आपने किसी तरीके से कर भी दिया बिकॉज यू डिड नॉट फील इट, आप जैसे ही उन्हें छोड़ोगे वापस अपने कंपार्टमेंट में चले जाएंगे, बिकॉज दे आर डिफरेंट कॉलम्स ऑल टुगेदर. हैप्पी कॉलम, सैड कॉलम. तो क्या करना है? डू आई नीड टू टेल यू? इफ आई नीड टू ओवर पावर माई हैप्पी मोमेंट्स ऑल द टाइम, मेरे सैड मोमेंट्स की इम्पैक्ट को मुझे कम करते जाना है। तो ये मेरे ज्यादा कवर करेगा, मेरा वो कॉलम बहुत बड़ा रहेगा और ये मेरे कॉलम बहुत कम हो जाएगा। ओवर पावर बेशक मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी, लेकिन जब ये मेरा कॉलम बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा, हैप्पी वाला, सैड वाला बहुत छोटा हो जाएगा, तो आपकी लाइफ में ज्यादातर क्या रहेगा? वही जो आप जी रहे हो, जो बार बार रिपीट कर रहे हो। और इसके पीछे बहुत बड़ा एक एस्पेक्ट है, जो मैं कभी टाइम मिलेगा तो एनॉन से बात करूंगी कि मुझे इसके ऊपर डिटेल में लेके जाएंगे कभी हम। बट एट द मोमेंट लेट्स स्टिक टू द इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस पीस एंड सेल्फ रेगुलेशन। आपको जब पता है कि क्या चाहिए, तो वर्क करना आसान है। एंड माइंड द गैप हेल्प्स यू। knowingly happy events and sad events cannot stay together. If I need one event and what is it I need to keep rehearsing that event more and make it happy by checking out your triggers and working on them, by checking out your behavior pattern and working on them. बॉडी को देखो, हम एग्रेसिव तो नहीं हो रहे, हम कह रहे हैं नहीं जी आप आए बहुत अच्छा लगा, लेकिन हम अच्छा नहीं है, हम उधर से बहुत सच में बता रहे। तो योर बॉडी इज सेइंग समथिंग एल्स, योर फ्राउनिंग नोज, बट यू सेइंग हाय, वेरी नाइस टू मीट यू, बट देन व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, यू आर गिविंग ऑपोजिट एज अ बिहेवियर पैटर्न। कन्फ्लिक्ट आएगा, आपके अंदर ही आ जाएगा। So being honest is very important. Though, okay, so let's move forward now and get to the third piece, which is again on self. एक पोलिंग डालते हैं, काफी देर से पोलिंग क्वेश्चन नहीं किया। मोटिवेशन क्यों चाहिए? लेट्स हैव दिस क्वेश्चन। क्यों चाहिए वैसे इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस में मोटिवेशन का होना क्यों जरूरी है? हिंदी में कहावत सुनी है किसी ने, खाली दिमाग शैतान का घर। लाइफ में अगर कोई मोटिव नहीं होगा आगे करने के लिए कुछ, तो हम सिर्फ लड़ मर रहे होंगे एक दूसरे से, एंड वी विल नॉट नो हाउ टू बिहेव in a particular situation. But if we are too focused and working towards ourselves, it works in a wonders way in our emotions aspect as well. So what motivates you is my polling question this time to you. Is good grades and trophies having in your hand is what motivates you? और डे फुल ऑफ एक्साइटमेंट, चाहे वो फ्रेंड्स के साथ घूमना हो, मूवीज देखना हो, खाना पीना हो, और बीइंग हेल्पिंग और हेल्पफुल टू पीपल अराउंड यू, कि आज मैंने बहुत लोगों की मदद की और मुझे बहुत अच्छा सेटिस्फेक्शन मिला, और गेनिंग सम न्यू नॉलेज, कईयों को पढ़ने का बड़ा शौक होता है जैसे मुझे, so something new I learned today. What motivates you? There has to be something, because अगर हम अपने इस इमोशंस को उन पॉजिटिव फ्रीक्वेंसीज पर नहीं लेके जाते ना, तो उस पर वर्क करना बहुत मुश्किल है। एंड दिस इज वेयर वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू व्हाट, वी आर ट्राइंग टू enhancing, increasing the better frequencies of emotions in life by being aware, by regulating it to the right way, the righteous manner, having a correct virtues in hand, and by motivating ourselves to do better and better and better every time. So how's the polling going, Siddharth?
Wonderful, wonderful, mom. It
Okay.
seems like it's equally balanced right now.
I know. Okay. I'll also give my answer. So let's get back to slide along with it. So while you are giving your answers on the polls, very clearly, motivation has to be there in life to do better. And how it can come? Meaning of what you're doing, just not for the sake of it. You know it if you are attached with and on what all you are learning, getting benefits. You know it how you are improvising. You know it how your life is enhancing. You know it what all it will benefit you in coming years. And this is what motivates you to be with and on, right? Very important. Have meaning to what you're doing. Beautiful. But the third one is more, I guess, 36%. Good. And स्मार्ट, व्हाट इज स्मार्ट? स्मार्ट गोल्स बहुत सुना, कॉर्पोरेट्स के लोग बहुत बोलते हैं। वो कहते हैं जी स्पेसिफिक, एवरी वर्ड हैज गॉट अ मीनिंग। वो कहते हैं जी स्पेसिफिक गोल्स होने चाहिए, You should know what you're doing. Clear करके. They should be measurable. कि आपको पता है आप क्या कर रहे हो. ये बहुत सालों से ये स्मार्ट गोल्स के बारे में कॉर्पोरेट्स में जैसे ही आप घुसो काम करना शुरू करो, they talk about it, set your goals, they should be specific, measurable, they should be should be able to with the time bound होने चाहिए. So all those words have got the specific meanings of smart goals. अच्छा, flash the poll questions. Have that in place. So smart goals, अब आजकल पता क्या होने लगा? What is it happening? People have started talking about now not only smart, let's go beyond smart. And वो सब, how it is important and how it is possible. Again, if you are carrying yourself emotionally strong, you know how to self-reflect, how you know how to talk, you know how to manage yourself. Very time to time, you should give yourself a reward, pat it in the back. I'm sure Anon is usually talks about this. Do a good thing, pat yourself. Why? Because even if nobody else is talking good, if you know you have done good and you are giving a reward to yourself, you improvise on your own anyhow, and then focus on yourself. So already awareness is there, regulation you are already doing, motivation gives you self work और self अपने ऊपर काम करना जरूरी है. लोग कहते हैं selfish तो नहीं है, yeah, we trying to be very selfish, we are working on yourself. No, for a simple reason, you work on yourself, people around you find you interesting, people around you find you useful, people around you find you helpful for them. So end of the day, even if you're working on yourself, you are actually working completely off your environment. You're working for everybody because you're working yourself. You can only work on yourself, you cannot work on others. It is very important. So not being selfish, being motivated, being selfing, working on yourself is actually working for everyone. Right? So what is it now? This is that all three were totally intrapersonal thing. अपना खुद का ऊपर काम करो, ये करो, and all that I'm talking about. Let's say we talk about now how you can handle relationship with others. So the two very prominent ones came up, and one of them was, let's have the next slide. Empathy. क्यों जरूरी है? Since COVID came up, I'm sure everyone started really taking care of other people's emotions, how they are behaving, we should help them. All of this started up very, very quickly. And it was beautiful thing which happened, though it was a wrong situation, but then something very beautifully came up. People were empathetic now. It diffuses bias. आप bias नहीं हो, ये मेरा दोस्त है, ये नहीं है. You're being normal. You are actually helping everyone. You being empathetic helps you build your character in a strong way. And it's you being a good human being works out in every aspect of life. So how you can be empathetic? Being a good listener. Listen to the situation, understand what it is, put your foot into the other shoes. कभी भी किसी को जवाब देने से पहले या whatever you're trying to react upon or giving a response upon, once you should consider yourself in that situation and then talk. Make analysis, then talk. And give very constructive. The moment, let's say, if your friend you don't like the ideas given by your friend, hey, what you're telling, you should not say like that. How you can do, while your idea is good, why can't we just make a little change in this way? It's just a way of giving a feedback. Hey, what bullshit idea you're giving? Not like that. Right? We can be better speakers when over a period of time. Let's have I think polling question was there on empathy also. So have a quick question on empathy.
Yes, ma'am, it is. Let me know.
Yeah. So your classmate came up with a bat in his hand, and for some misunderstanding between you two, how would you react? You'll get angry because you were also actually hurt in that situation, whatever that situation was. Or you do not react at all and avoid him completely. Or you would run from there and get other people to help you. Or try to calm him down, listen and respond. I know by the way what you most of you would answer, but then let's see.
Seems like people are making conscious choices right now.
That's what I was, and actually I wanted you guys to just be very, very, very fair how you behave as of now. It's no problem. Nobody is checking out on your answer. It's just that what we are trying to see, how we are reacting as of now, and what is it we need to work upon. Simple. It's for our own learnings. That's it. Let's move to the last topic. I guess it's very beautiful to close it at the right time. Social skills is something we all need nowadays. Everyone is on social media, but still a lot of us hesitate. But that is again, I would say, is a monologue. What you're doing, you're just posting yourself. You're just giving up. Okay, hi, I'm here. I do this. You know what? Let me give you a lot of learnings. But you don't know what your audience is at that point in time. I'm not actually talking about that kind of a social skilling here. I am referring to social skilling, how you behave in a group, in your team, how you really handle if there is any conflict between the three or four of you. Anon keeps giving you a lot of projects. And I'm sure when you are actually working on a project for a long term, there must be some conflicts happening. There must be something which is not matching up with each other. Answer this question again, coming up in a last polling question of mine. How do you behave if there is any challenge in a group? So just give a polling. I think polling is taking a little time, but then it's very important. If you guys are there with me, listening to me, it'll definitely get inside, and you would work on it. And this is what we want. Okay, do we have last polling?
Just a second, I'm just
Yeah,
looking.
yeah.
Okay, so we have the poll. Request all the attendees to please actively participate in the poll. The
Yes.
question is there in front of you.
Do you find it difficult to connect with someone or work in a team, or find difficulties in communicating clearly? Right? So if you are in a project, working on a project, and something you did not like, do you find it difficult to manage as a team, or you're too comfortable and you can handle it? So the question could be like, project, you are into a project for and on, and somebody gave some idea, you did not like it. Do you just manage and go by it, or you say, okay, I'm not working in this team anymore? Happens, right? Anna? So these are the reactions we do. These are the things we behave like. What is it needs to be done? Let's conclude that in this slide while you are giving the answers. Polling is done, I guess. It was only one click.
Yes, ma'am. We have 59% voting for no.
I know. Okay. So here it is. The tips are: be flexible, adapt, and collaborate, cooperate. Put your thoughts in place, give your feelings clearly, state what your situation is, how and why you're not liking a particular area, or there is any, and how constructive feedback, what we spoke about earlier. The moment you give constructive feedback, the other one also is listening to you clearly. And if both are in a win-win, clear, his listening situation and emotional situations, conflict can easily be cut out, very easily. So be flexible. Don't be adamant about things. And over a period of time, your communication style automatically starts working because you know how to respond, you know how to talk, you know how to put your things forward. Slowly, you enhance your capability of a communication style, any which ways. Right? Beautiful tips. The moment you are in a position to work on these 5 compartments, and the way I have mentioned it to you, you can find out more new ways. You can keep Googling, keep finding out new facts, new sheets, new working styles, new tips. You have enormous information around, right? And you guys are too good into all this, right? Finding out. But then these are the basic aspects you should work on. The moment you have it, EQ is higher, believe you me. Having any other aspect like IQ, nowadays social quotient, SQs, your other quotients, everything is taken care of. It is so important. And I'm sure if anyone would like to share any particular experience that they faced, or they actually got into any adverse situation and how they handled it beautifully, it can be a beautiful case study for others to learn. So anyone can raise their hands and share a particular incident where adverse situation was there and you handled well, or you could not handle. That is also okay. At least we would know now how to learn and being aware. Any volunteer?
Let me speak.
Yeah, sure.
Devinder, since every time we start internship, so many students apply, and in 1 month, they we try to make them understand what our vision is, but at times we with regular convincing them that this is how life skills are important and this is how we will be approaching. There are many students who are not ready to change, so I feel they are like lesser understanding, they have lesser understanding of emotional
Yeah.
intelligence. That is why they don't believe in the kind of networking we are going to do in future. They have certain kind of fear, they have social anxiety, so there are many factors because of which they quit this internship also, or
Mm.
they at times say they are not able to manage. This is the time when the child need to look beyond the bubble in which he is living, because we are providing every kind of comfort to them. So it's very important that when they understand that EQ, then definitely they look forward for the kind of opportunities that they are getting in the society. But
Absolutely.
they just have a disconnect of 6 and 9. And we try to make them
Six. I
understand.
know. I know. What we're explaining is six, and they understand nine, or you're explaining. I
Yes,
know. I understand this.
yes.
Yes, that is so important, because then in that case, while we are also dealing with them, we need to be having our patience in place to really explain them that how it is important for you. But still, you would find some dropping out because no one has spoken about this EQ ever, and this
And
is so
the main role is of parent. Parent do not understand the
personal.
importance of the thing, and hence, out of their pressure, they just get convinced. Okay, it's fine. Quitting is easy at that time, but later on, they also regret why they have quitted. So they
Yeah.
need to have that resilience. That yes, I can.
The impact is because now parents and kids used to do a direct proportion of time spent and what result. So that is where they lack in understanding that the result is not seen every time, that very moment. It is over a period of time, and you have to understand, put the strategy in place and understand goals needs to be set both ways, short term and long term. Short terms, you get trophies, you get this, you get a learning, you are jumping to the next class. The long term, how as a person you have become. So both are needed. Yes.
Yes, they only.
Avinash wanted to say something.
Yeah, yeah.
I know Karsh has a question. Okay,
Yeah, good
Karsh.
evening, ma'am.
Hello, Ji.
Ma'am, I'm highly impressed the way you explained emotional intelligence.
Thank you.
As a teacher, I feel that there are many students who are into a trap of their peer pressure, right? Because of which they are not able to perform. Sometimes peer pressure, sometimes parents' pressure. I help them a lot, but can you give me something, some guidance that how do I help them?
Okay. So,
Which school, sir? Because I'll tell
Ma'am,
you.
I am from Indraprastha Global School and my name is Avnish, not Avinash.
Perfect. Oh, sorry, Avnish ji. Acha, Avnish ji, if your school, nowadays, all the schools have started following some activity on mindfulness, some or the
Yes,
other,
ma'am. Yes,
right?
ma'am. We have our counselor who is taking social emotional literacy, and I am responsible for financial literacy also.
Okay.
So, but still, I feel sometimes that I'm not able to help them out because they are under peer pressure, they are not performing, or they are under huge pressure from the parents on the performance side that they are not able to perform to the best.
Okay, here is my question again.
Yes, ma'am.
In school also, do you always talk about marks or performance to the kids when you
No,
are
ma'am, I
teaching?
don't. I don't.
Okay.
On an average, I don't.
Okay. So someone has to start this.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am. I don't. Yes,
instead of
I
going
have
with grades
divided.
and
Yes,
marks,
I have divided my students into groups
yeah.
below average so that I can work on them and improve the result, and above average also, so that I know they have certain weaknesses where we can work on it and improve their performance and help them out to take out from their pressure.
So here is my suggestion. You're already having a clear thought what is required. The activity could be utilized as a practice in the class. When you go into the class, a minute or two or a 3 minutes or a 4 minute of a silence or mindfulness, how you
Ma'am, it's
feel
a 5 minutes. It's a 5 minutes activity from my side.
yeah, you can do that. So mindfulness activity of 5 minutes before class starts. Let's forget about everything in life and just go and visit yourself inside and say how you're feeling today is works wonders. So if even if asking how you feeling bacha today and check how kids start coming out with their emotions. The moment they are out with their emotions, the some of it is already being taken out, right? It's just it's released.
Yes,
They
ma'am. I've seen that in certain schools like Heritage School, they have a 2 minutes meditation cycle going
That's what I
on
was coming to.
in
That's
front of beginning of the school period and at the end of the period. That
yes.
helps the students calm out and then concentrate on the classes. And I love that.
So practice helps. So
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
not a one-day job.
Yes, ma'am.
So it has to be continuously followed with
But
with
how do I explain my management that it has to be done for all the classes and all the students?
Aarti ma'am can do it.
Let me add, sir. Sir, it all depends on the classes that you are teaching. Like for senior classes, there is a different way of making them understand, and for junior classes, there is also a different way.
Yeah,
So,
ma'am, I'm taking financial literacy from 3 to 12. So
okay.
I'm catering to all the students from 3 to 12 grade. So I
Yes,
know what they feel and how they understand. And I try to calm them out through my experiences.
sir, the other way that I always suggest during my session is these three things: involve them in the art, involve them in the music, and involve them in the sports. So the moment they are involved in any of these, they have the more attraction towards their inner self, because then they develop that happy hormones also, happy chemicals also, and hence they start having that drive from inside. So these days the drive from inside is missing. That is why they are doing all sort of thing rather than what they have to do. So
Aarti ma'am, I've attended so many sessions of you.
mhm.
I'm really a fond of you, and it's my pleasure that for the first time in your life, I'm interacting with you.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
I'm really, really obliged that I'm able to see you today, right?
Thank
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, next question.
Yes.
Can we
Vaishnavi.
unmute Vaishnavi Shukla?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, Vaishnavi.
Ma'am, actually, we all know that one should respond and not react to a particular situation. But at the end, in the heat of the moment, we always react. So, how to be calm and composed during that situation? Because we already know how to be mindfully present during that situation. But at the end, we all get indulged by reacting that situation. So, that is my main concern.
Definitely, it's a natural process, and I have also gone through these situations many times. But how you need to really start working towards you, because what happens right now, 10 times 10 things came up, you immediately reacted on all 10. If you know it, you would start working on it, you would react to 8, then you would come down to 5, then you would come down to 3. I'm not saying you will be champ in day 1. No, it's not going to happen. Things happen slow and steady. Radical change in your life, in your pattern, in your behavior works. Now what happens if, let's say, somebody comes up and in a very angry situation? Couple of things you can do. What my mother used to, or our earlier generation used to tell, ki pani pi lo thanda. That is one way you cool down your mind, or just get away from the situation for a while. Because heat of the moment pe whatever is a situation, you would definitely come out with something wrong from your mouth and which you would not like it later. Step out a little from that situation for some time, just avoid for some time, and then when there is a heat little reduced, then you can make somebody understand that this is not supposed to be done like this and this is what it is. Or do a counting till the time that person is speaking and you have to react. When you have to speak, purposely give it a minute. Mind the gap. Purposely give it a minute. Start counting 1, 2, 3, 4 internally. 5, 6, 7, 8. जब तक मेरे 100 नहीं हो जाएगा, I will not speak. Try that. It works.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So before we take up another question, we will be releasing some registration form for the certificate of the candidate, because this is a series of program where we want the all the our attendees to be a part of all the sessions, so that you can qualify the level 1 of an on-key Pathshala. Fine. So rest our team will suggest. Now you can continue.
All right, we'll take 2 more questions before
Yeah.
yes,
May I
ma'am.
speak?
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. I'll just put off my camera because I won't be able to hear and understand what I'm saying or you are listening to. Okay. I just want to ask one thing. Like sometimes, it becomes very difficult for you to make the other person realize that he or she is wrong. I mean, advocacy level is so high, ma'am, that it makes you feel very uncomfortable. I mean, like you are not able to either adjust the situation, you are unable to run away from the situation, and you seem to be in a fix. Basically, it's just like you're in a trap. If it's a boss, it's much more difficult. If it's a student, it's much more difficult to make the child understand you. By the way, I'm a teacher by profession. So I just wanted to know that is there any way by which we can just, I mean, besides sweet talk, by which you can make that other person understand that he or she is wrong without being offending that person. Yeah, ma'am, please.
Understood. So you know the person well. So there are a lot of different ways to deal. You know the person well. If the person does not listen at all, or let's say the person is a grown-up narcissist personality,
Right.
ignorance is the best thing you can do. Don't indulge. Okay. You need to be in that situation, but you can detach yourself by learning on your emotions again. Okay. The person is slightly flexible, does listen to you, but have got a lot of ego. That's another kind of. Got a lot of ego. When you talk to that person in a constructive manner, the ego needs to be satisfied by not saying sorry, but by talking to that person, giving that power to that person that I hear you and allow me to say something. When you use a word, allow me to say something, he feels powerful. Okay. The person is asking to allow. Okay, I allow you. And then he opens his ear for you. So there are very few words These are psychological words which work wonders. The moment you give power, saying, okay, what you said, beautiful, I understand. It's a constructive feedback you're giving. If person is ready to listen to you, but having an ego, that will not agree to you. The moment you say, okay, I understand what you're saying, but now allow me to talk, give my feedback to you or my answer to you. So
thank you so
that
much.
works. That works. So
One
that
word,
is ego.
yeah. One word, ma'am, in school now, if we cannot leave the child, so it's better to make them document. The moment they document, they write, things will come much easier. Fine. Yeah.
And you specifically mentioned, let's say your teacher and kid is really giving you a trouble time. I'm sure all kids are very different. So some would be behind you all the time, giving you all the feedbacks, and some may not just listen to you at all. So they need to be handled differently. Every kid has to be handled differently. They cannot be handled in a similar pattern. So that over a period of time with experience, I'm sure,
I'll just share experience with you, ma'am. As you said that it has to be handled. There was this child, it's been many years now. He has grown up and has become he's earning now. This fellow was from EWS. I didn't know about this child. And we were making some collections, like some collections for some picnic or something were to be done. And the amount was very meager. I think 140 rupees for some Nehru Planetarium something. It was a visit. So everybody had submitted the money and this word didn't come up. It was mandatory for all of them to submit the money. In one recess, he came to me and he brought that 14 10-rupee torn notes. I mean, they were in a very palatable situation. मतलब हाथ लगाने से भी वो फट जाएंगे. And this boy, he took out the money from his pocket and he said, "Ma'am, मेरे पैसे." So I was a bit angry first. Like I spent the whole period collecting the money. I've been shouting every day, "Give your money, give your money." And the last moment, this child comes up and gives the money, and he ran off. Just he gave that bundle of notes and ran off. When I entered the staff room and started looking at the money, I realized that how much the child must have, as you said, EQ, whatever his EQ must have been, कि उसने कैसे वो पैसे दिए होंगे. So I called this child in the afternoon and I asked him. He said. Then he told me his father was a vegetable vendor and he was ashamed of giving the money in front of everybody because the kind of notes they were, he felt ashamed. Now, उस time तो बुरा लगा. I felt bad for the child also. But I tried to console him. जैसे आपने कहा, बहुत सारी बातें बताई आपने. आज वो बच्चा बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है. Thank God for that. लेकिन कई बार क्या होता है ना मैम, सिचुएशन ऐसी हो जाती है कि you are neither running out of it and you are neither in it. This is just an incident I want to share to you कि कई बार उस बच्चे का EQ IQ से बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है ना. जब सिचुएशन ऐसी आती है कि EQ is greater than IQ, then I think the child या कोई भी, I think that person becomes very very submissive.
नहीं मैम, वो हाई EQ वाला नहीं था. हाई EQ में he knows how to handle his emotions.
Okay.
वो लो EQ वाला था. EQ हाई करना है. EQ हाई करना है, इंटेलिजेंस बढ़ानी है, इमोशन कंट्रोल करना बढ़ाना है, इमोशन हैंडल करना सिखाना है. वो तो हाई EQ हो जाएगा एंड देन इट बिकम्स बेटर. बट यू हैव ब्यूटीफुली शेयर्ड अ ब्यूटीफुल एग्जांपल इन फैक्ट. और ये बहुत पॉसिबिलिटी है. हम जाते ही नहीं है पीछे किसी की डेप्थ फाइंड आउट करने के लिए, दैट व्हाट दैट पर्सन इज रियली गोइंग थ्रू एंड इज नॉट रियली टेकिंग आउट एंड कमिंग अप. टीचर्स इतना इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करते हैं इस जगह पर टू नो इट. ये बच्चा अगर ये कमिंग अप विद सम काइंड ऑफ अ hesitation, what is it at the back he is hiding?
Right.
And उसकी लाइफ उसी के बेस पर होती है and they don't tell you, and teacher can develop this. Teacher can take him out. It's okay, feel proud about it. So
as I say, pat yourself. I always pat myself because I think I changed the way the child has thought and he's doing very well now. So Anon is doing a similar thing. So thanks to Anon also, and thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Brilliant example shared.
Lovely. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Davinder ma'am, for sharing your invaluable insights. Definitely, we have many more questions to be asked today. I would request all the questionnaires, can be pitched into Davinder's ma'am socials. The team would have dropped Davinder ma'am socials once again in the chat box. You can drop all sort of questions you had in today's session. I would just say, ma'am, that the session was truly enlightening, and there is a great saying. The source of knowledge is experience, and today we have gained something valuable from this experience. Trust me. Let's have the Mentimeter cloud in front of our screen so that we can acknowledge and provide the cloud of gratitude to Devinder ma'am, that how amazing your session was, ma'am, and what people have to say. More than 176 responses, and everyone is showing love to your session with saying emotional, insightful, informative, good, excellent, very informative, and whatnot. We're going to share this particular cloud to you, ma'am, pretty soon. But thank you, everyone, for making this Mentimeter success, making this session to a success, making this particular attendance a success. We are getting more responses, ma'am. We're going to get back to your response pretty soon. But one last thing is also remaining. Let me just close that up before we get back to you. Before we end, let's talk about our upcoming session of Anonki Pathshala. Our third session focuses on public speaking. That would be conducted by Miss Simran Nagwani. Again, I would request the team, they would be sharing you the insight. Mark your calendar for 16th of August and stay tuned. Remember, public speaking is not just about conveying information. It's about igniting your passion, inspiring change, and creating a connection that resonates long after every word spoken. So don't miss this particular opportunity, because this session matters and your journey towards skill development matters. Lastly, ma'am, any last love note you have to share to all the participants who have been showering uh, cloud of gratitude for you, ma'am, before we just move ahead to Shami, ma'am?
You're
Yeah.
such a beautiful audience already. I already showed my heart to you all. You guys are lovely, and I'm working with Anon and always been my amazing time. So again, back. So as Shami ma'am was saying, back to school. So yes, I love this.
Lovely, lovely. Now I would like to invite Ms. Shami Pruthi, ma'am, the Vice President of Anon Global Foundation, to give us a vote of thanks. She has been a constant support in shaping this initiative into a bright reality. Ma'am, the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Siddhant. And we are about to conclude this enriching and engaging session on emotional intelligence. My key takeaways personally would be awareness, self-awareness, and inner management, besides many other, which if I start listing would be like, a long list. So I just sum it up there. So I am really filled with immense gratitude and appreciation for this session, specifically for our distinguished speaker, Ms. Davinder Kaur, because her insights and expertise on this topic have really been very enlightening, because you have deepened our understanding of this topic and inspired not only me, but I think many of us to apply these simple, doable, actionable things in our daily lives and be more emotionally intelligent. And again, I would also express my thanks to all the participants. Thank you for your active engagement, your thoughtful questions. There are many more left. We know that, but time is short. So your enthusiasm and willingness to learn is what is making Anon Ki Pathshala a very thriving platform for growth and development. So lastly, I'll take this moment to extend my gratitude to the whole organization team, specifically who are working behind the scenes, ensuring that everything is running smoothly. You are not taking the limelight, but your efforts are not going unnoticed. So, thank you to all our supporters, all our partners for believing in this vision of Anonki Pathshala. Your contribution is helping us continue to create these valuable learning experiences. And together, we are trying to build a community where knowledge is shared, where wisdom is cultivated, and together we all grow. So let's carry forward the lessons we have learned today and strive to become a more resilient, emotionally intelligent individual. Thank you once again. And we look forward to seeing you all again at our future sessions also. Thank you very
Amazing.
much.
Trust me, amazing. So that was session one. Today was session two. And again, See you all pretty soon in next session, that is public speaking, or we can say episode 3. And before I conclude and say good night and take care, you are off to a great place, guys. Today is your day and your mountain is waiting. So get on the way and see you again on 11th of August, sharply at 9 p.m. with public speaking by Miss Simran Nagwani. Good night. Take care and Shabba khair. See you pretty soon, guys. Thank you,
Davinder,
everyone.
once
Thank you.
again, thank you very much for the support. And every time, since 5 years, you have been supporting us.
Thank
Great people like you who are
Thank you.
supporting us.
It enhances my dream of connecting with next generation through you, Aarti.
Thank you.
All about my dream and your dream coinciding somewhere.
Love to you.
And guys, one emotional aspect of life, keep smiling. Your emotions will change automatically, and fake it till you make it. Because your physiology will change your psychology, and your psychology once change, your physiology will become like that only. So keep that in mind as a last tip.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.